Welcome back to the show. We got a great one lined up. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. It's XRP Las Vegas. We're 28 days and counting, ladies and gentlemen. Get your room, get your ticket. You know what to do. Let me tell you, Bitcoin Vegas is right in front of us. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, flights, rooms are going to get difficult. And I don't mind telling you, VIP tickets have a ceiling. There is a cutoff point, and we could hit it before the 28 days is up. So make sure you get your ticket. Listen, I want you to hear, see, and meet Brad Garlinghouse, Dr. Chris Brummer, Simon McLaughlin, Keith Grossman from MoonPay, Kevin Maloney. I want you to meet all these incredible people. I want you to meet Adam from First Ledger and Vet. I want you to meet David Schwartz. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Dom and Phil Kwok from Easy A, representing over 1 million builders. Are you kidding me? We're giving away $25,000 in prizes to the best ideas and best pitches and best companies. Super excited to bring together the community with the builders. It's been long overdue, and it's about time we do it. We're putting a flag on the moon to do it. Get your ticket, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a remarkable, remarkable event. And I'm going to show you something today from another conference from a few years ago that's going to knock you down, or at least I hope it does the way it did me. And you're about to find out why you need to get a ticket and come to this conference. Make the investment in yourself, because you're going to hear things at a conference that you won't hear anywhere else. And I'm going to prove it to you today. Take a listen right here. Coinbase. This is from Eleanor Tarrant. Give her a follow. Coinbase urges Supreme Court to end IRS surveillance of crypto users on exchanges. The exchange is asking the court to reconsider how the Fourth Amendment applies to digital financial data. Paul Grewal down here basically says that they are doing this so they can fight. So the third party, you have no reasonable expectation of privacy whatsoever. Look, I'm glad to see the community come together like this. I mean, no one knows any better than an XRP holder what it's like to be out here fighting for your portfolio and your investments and the things that you believe in without anyone helping you. And now we actually have that kind of collective cooperation amongst the community. So shout out to Coinbase for getting into the ring on this one. It matters. You know, we have to be very careful. Look, I mean, we feel like we have a great administration that's bracing this innovation, but what happens when that's gone? And then someone else comes in with bad intentions. So we got to get this right on every level from every angle. Meanwhile, 31.2 trillion in capital is still prohibited or restricted from Bitcoin ETF access across major U.S. wealth platforms, according to Tefra Digital. Charles Schwab, Fidelity, Wells Fargo offer unrestricted access, while Vanguard completely prohibit Bitcoin ETF investments, and others. Obviously, this is leaning into just Bitcoin, but this speaks to the whole market, doesn't it? It speaks to the entire crypto asset space and all of these ETFs that will be coming soon enough. And the 31 trillion plus in capital that is waiting to come off of the sideline and get a position in these assets. That is still coming. It's still before us. How much of that 31 trillion are we going to see in crypto? XRP is now supported on MetaMask. This is via the XRP Ledger and EVM sidechain. Shout out to Ferran Prat and Piercist. That's who got this done. MetaMask support is a big move forward. There's no question about it. And look, I know the maxis, there will be some maxis out here mad about this. Oh my goodness, are they going to be mad? But let me tell you, before this video's over, I'm about to show you, listen, if you didn't see the first video this morning where I show how Ripple is poised with the potential Circle acquisition to be on 19 blockchains, not including the XRP Ledger, making it 20. So this support here shows me it is a move for mass adoption all the way around. Prepare for more of it. This here is regarding stablecoin and market structure bill for digital assets. This is Congressman Representative French Hill, who knows quite a bit about it. And he says, we're going to get it done. And I like the way he says it. Take a listen.
The edge of technological innovation. And you obviously are in the midst of a stablecoin legislative, right? You've got the same in the Senate. Where do you want to go with this legislation?
Yep.
And do you have a timeline? And what do you think the final product looks like?
Yeah. Well, first, I want the United States to lead in this financial technology arena like we've led in other technological innovations and adaptations over many years in the past, whether it's in communications technology or the foundation of the internet or in things as simple as the development of the smartphone. But if we don't get the rules right, we drive that innovation offshore into other jurisdictions, and the venture capitalists follow that innovation out. So if we want to make sure that we do it right, we need the right, I heard the commissioner use the term fit for purpose. I appreciate her copying our bill name last year on that subject. Fit for purpose regulation inside the digital asset space is critical. Because when you go to a peer-to-peer system, a more decentralized system, you've got to rewrite the rules and supervision covering the plumbing, because since 1930, we've done the reverse. We've allowed French to do business with Tim, and we do that through an intermediary. It might be a title company, it might be a broker-dealer, it might be a bank, it might be a custodian, it might be a real estate agent, but we have these intermediaries, and we then set the regulations for them, and they work to police our work between each other. So when you go to a more decentralized finance, that responsibility shifts to the buyer and seller more directly and is a lighter touch on that intermediary. So we are trying to draft those rules. 2 bills, making progress. We did this in the last Congress, but now we're poised to pass these pieces of legislation in this Congress. First is a dollar-backed stablecoin rule under federal law. Bill Hagerty, my classmate at Vandy, has introduced that bill in the Senate. It's gone through a Senate markup. It had excellent bipartisan support. We marked up our version of that bill, the Stable Act, in the House a couple of weeks later. We tried to harmonize those drafts as closely as we could, and the House bill also got bipartisan support. If we think that the future of global payments is going to have a tokenized payment on a blockchain rail, then you need a dollar-backed stablecoin under U.S. law, under U.S. supervision, with high standards of quality and disclosure and auditing to set the global standard that I think will really improve the trust in that product. Secondly, if I have a dollar-backed stablecoin, all I have is an item. I have a tokenized payment concept. But where would you use it? How would you store it? How would Barclays serve as a custodian for it? How could someone use it to buy a digital asset or a regular asset out in the marketplace?
Really quickly, this man knows exactly what he's talking about. Listen, see how comfortable he is? And listen, I always said this when I was teaching drums, which I still do on the side a little bit, but I always said this to my students. When you can teach something to someone else, that's how you know it.
And so the second bill that we're working on with the Senate, with Senator Lummis from Wyoming, Senator Gillibrand from New York, Senator Scott, our great chairman in the Senate, and our team in the House, including my good friend Brian Stile from Wisconsin, is a market framework bill. We passed this last summer. It was called Fit for Purpose, the Fit 21 Act. Got 71 Democratic votes across the House floor. Very bipartisan. We're going to essentially take on that market regulatory framework bill here in the month of May, and we will work to pass that bill. These 2 bills are essential to be passed. President Trump has asked us to put both of these bills on his desk before the August recess, and we're working mightily on a bicameral basis, on a bipartisan basis, and working with David Sachs, Donald Trump's artificial intelligence and digital asset advisor, to get this done, and we're going to get it done.
Listen to that. I tell you, as I've said, there's been confusion out here what bills will be done. This is multiple times now. It has been expressed by multiple individuals that both pieces of legislation be on the president's desk by the August recess, which sets us up for the tail end of 25 to potentially be a fireworks for this asset space, this asset class. Oh my gracious. And remember, the race is on. United Kingdom seeks to become a world leader in digital assets. So they don't have the luxury to just kick the can down the road here. There is a window to put yourself in the pole position to be a leader in this innovation race. They don't have the luxury to kick this can down the road. Meanwhile, we see a slew of the top leaders in their industries lining up to prepare to integrate this innovation and technology into their business models. Visa right now says 50% of global e-commerce transactions are now tokenized. Tokenization is also powering billions of tap-to-pay transactions globally. Well, let's walk through a little bit of this just very quickly as a reminder for everyone. Visa and Bridge launched stablecoin-backed card across Latin America. Users in Argentina, Colombia, Ecuador, Mexico, Peru, Chile can now spend stablecoins via Visa merging crypto and everyday payments. I'm thinking of Rosie Rios here. The train has left the station. If you're not aware of this, just to get you guys up to speed so everybody's level set in the same place, yes, we are connected in direct and direct ways to Visa and that relationship. Here's Ripple here. You could see in the stack. You could see where we sit. Here's Visa, Ripple right there. You got it, right? Let's keep going very quickly here. I want to wind this down. Visa, Currency Cloud, Earthport. 2019, Visa acquired Earthport, $321 million. Currency Cloud bought in 21, over $900 million. These were all Ripple partners. Visa acquired two companies that were partnered with Ripple. What are they doing with the technology? It looks like they're getting ready to go to market with it. Then there's this. Don't forget about this. Remember this? Matthew Lemurl, when he showed exactly the same thing and talked about Swift being in line with Ripple and other companies out here in the digital tech stack. Visa there, Mastercard as well. Look at it all. You see it. I don't need to play the video. You see what is happening here. Everyone is lining up because legislation is going to be passed and put on the president's desk in August. And then it will just be a signature for it to become law. So now we've got Visa. We know about Swift. We know about Mastercard's partnership with Ripple, right?
We said, okay, well, let's at least get ready to set up the stage. And in doing so, we're working with a number of different partners, with Ripple.
With Ripple. And then what do we know? Charles Hoskinson told us about the Magnificent Seven, the Apple, the Facebook, the Google, the Microsoft, the Instagram, the X platform. You know it all. 3 billion people are about to get a crypto wallet. And all of these companies are about to launch a stablecoin from a private issuance, and then they're going to earn a yield on the bonds. No longer will they be paying for payments. They'll be making money to offer you a digital dollar. Remember American Express? Oh yeah, 2017 they partnered with Ripple. That's how long ago that was. American Express partners with Ripple to integrate XRP for faster cross-border payments. For the same reason that Visa and Mastercard did. Let's not kid ourselves. And don't forget about Ripple just trying to acquire Circle. Well, now I'm about to get you. Remember when I told you that it's things at a conference that you will hear that you just won't hear anywhere else? Well, let me tell you something here. Absolutely right. Shout out to Crypto Life here. He said the plan, the real USD. You got it, brother. By the way, Crypto Life, CKJ, and a couple others are having a satellite event over the 2 days of the conference as well. So reach out to them and see about that event if you're interested in hitting that event too. What's confusing to me is why do we need 10 different stable coins or 20? Brad Garlinghouse. And when you could have one real USD that's highly compliant and regulated, Brad Kimes. See, Ripple just tried to buy Circle, and they may still buy them. They just got refused at the price that they offered. But you have to remember...
I'm not sure is the short answer. I think Stablecoins as a category, I think, have a role to play, particularly in domestic settlement. I haven't yet seen exactly where the U.S. is going to come out here. Other countries around the world clearly are doing more ahead of the U.S. and how they're kind of approaching central bank issued digital assets. What's confusing to me is why do we need 10 different U.S. dollar stablecoins or 20?
Well said, Brad Garlinghouse. That's all the way from the Collision Conference a couple, 2-3 years ago. Maybe 4 years ago. But now fast forward back to what we know. Ripple just made an offer to acquire Circle because we don't need 10 or 20 different stable coins. What we really need is Ripple into real USD, and then to issue that stable coin and white label it for Bank of America, for Apple, for Facebook, for Google, and anybody else that wants a stable coin. How about that? That would be amazing. Look, when I look at this, I think to myself, forget about the white labeling for the others. They'll want their own stable coins so they can earn their own bonds, I'm sure. But think of it from this regard. Circle's on about 19 different networks, I think is what Grok 3 told me in the first video this morning. If Ripple acquires Circle, then all of a sudden, real USD and XRP gains privilege to access to help settle transactions on all those 19 blockchains. And don't lose sight of the fact that XRP itself has the privileged position to be considered for every transaction first. And if it's not the best fit, it'll choose the best fit instead. And that's wonderful. That's exactly what we want. And the more activity you can bring and tie into the XRP ledger, like 19 other blockchains that Circle's on right now, the more possibilities you create for a bridging asset like XRP. And that is super, super exciting. Because the XRP ledger has a decentralized exchange built into it, it makes sense that all these other blockchains should at some point tie into the XRP ledger. Everything runs on the XRP ledger. How do you get them there? You acquire companies like Circle, you launch something like Real USD, and bring all the blockchains into the world decentralized exchange, known as the XRP ledger. I'll catch all of you on the next one.